Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Nikki here, and today it's part 6 of 30 ways to decorate your junk journal, or hashtag JJJ30. That is a series on my channel where we're decorating this little journal that I've made. And today we're going to make something really, really simple. I have fussy cut some flowers out of a magazine, and this is a piece of finish cardstock that I have sprayed with coffee. I've cut a strip off down the length of it, so the long side, not the short side. The back of it is left white, and that doesn't matter because the base of it will be glued to the page, and we're going to create a flip up and flip down. Really, really simple, and with some deco you won't see the white, so easy peasy. Now, mine is quite narrow because my journal is quite small that I'm making. So you just decide which page you want to put it on and then cut it to the correct size. I'll just show you here. We're just going to pick a page for the sake of it. And you need a little bit of room on either side, or you can actually make it the full width of the page if you like, but I like it to sort of sit with some border around the outside. So long as you've got a bit of space, it's all good. So now you will have one bit that you flip up, and you just burnish that down a little bit with your bone folder or just your fingernail. And before you start decorating, make sure you have a look at it. And I've just realised that I want this the other way around. I want the bottom bit a little bit longer than the top. Not that it matters, that's just the way I had decided I was doing it. So before you start decorating, make sure you open it up and turn it round, flip it down so that you've got it going the correct way. Especially if you use images that are directional, you wouldn't want to accidentally have it upside down, and then of course your image would be upside down. So easiest thing is to fold it out, lay it down, and then you know you're going to be decorating that bit with it pointing in the right direction. So this is very simple. It's easy to do. I've just grabbed some magazine flowers. This was quite a dark page. It was I think from Better Homes and Gardens. It was a winter edition of the magazine, not the current one. It was an older one, and it was quite a dark page. But I just loved these deep coloured florals, so decided to chop them up and use them for this. Now, you'll see I'm placing this down at the end, but as you can see, I'm not going over the edge, and you'll see down the track why I'm doing it that way. So I'm just using my glue stick, and I'm gluing these flowers down in a collage, and I want to cover that entire flap so that obviously you don't see any of the white. Look, use whatever you've got. It doesn't have to be flowers. You can pick anything that you've got in your stash. I just found I was rifling through my magazine stash of pages that I've cut out, and I just loved these colours. And because it's winter down here in Australia, I thought, no, I definitely want to use it. And I loved how some of these flowers are actually green. So I decided I didn't need to add any leaves. I can just simply do this with flowers. So we're making sure we cover up every bit. Now, this one, as you can see, when I put it down, it's going to hang over the edge. That's fine. I'm going to trim all that off once I've got everything down. But I wanted to keep the centre of that flower and also not hide the centre of the big one that I put down because I like those little pops of yellow. So it's just hanging over the edge. I'm just trying to make it fit as best it can. Doesn't matter that it's too big because I'll just trim it off, and it's always easier to trim things off after you've stuck it down. If you try and cut it, you may not cut it straight or whatever, and it can end up being a lot of fluffing around. So just let it hang over the edge, and then when you finish gluing, you can just trim it down to size. So I'm almost done here, putting my pretty flowers down, and as I said, don't need any leaves because some of those flowers have got those green tinges to it. So I thought that's perfect. And I just love that combo. So that's that done. Then we have to flip it round again. And we're going to now decorate the bottom. Pardon me. Excuse me. So flipping that down again, making sure we've got it facing in the right direction. Now, this is just a piece from a magazine. It's just some foliage. I'm just cutting off the bottom that's really dark. And again, I'm going to completely cover and then trim off the excess. But I just love that dark. This is sort of quite a dark thing instead of all light and airy. And this is where just grabbing some imagery out of a magazine. It's not what I would call attractive imagery, but I loved all the green shades. And so this is, sometimes you've got to look at magazine pages and look beyond just the image, because I think this sort of turned out really well using this, and it was just quite unattractive foliage. The actual picture, the whole magazine page had beautiful flowers up the top, but I just wanted that dark green. Could have used some scrapbooking paper or something, but again, with this series, I'm trying to use magazines where possible, just to show you don't have to have an extensive stash of scrapbooking supplies. You can simply use magazines to create some rather pretty things. Now, this little grow label was from a kit that I got from Rach and Bella Crafts, and it's one thing obviously that's not from a magazine, and I've used that style in some of my previous entries, and of course I'm doing that again, a little bit of cohesiveness as you're flipping through the journal once it's finished, seeing little elements like that you've used on multiple bits just creates a bit of cohesiveness. So here I am, I'm just simply trimming off all the excess, and if by gluing things down this way you reduce the risk of having corners that are going to peel up. So now you can see I'm going to cut the top, but instead of just cutting it square across the top, I'm actually going to trim around the shape of the flowers so that the flip down part has this odd shaped edge, just for something different, instead of just having it straight. That's all very boring. And those petals are a good size, they're easy to cut out, and I think that should look quite attractive when it's done. So there we go. Oh, and that little bit at the top there has to be glued down, and I was going to trim it off, and then I thought, I'll just I'll just glue it down the other side. Now see, that corner there is not down right, and I hate it when corners lift. So we're just making sure we have everything nice and well sealed. There's really nothing else I need to say here. It's pretty obvious what I am doing. But yes, just trimming it up. Nice, neat edges. Very simple deco, but I think it should look quite effective when it's done. So there we go. We've got the flip down, and then we add the flip up, and I love that edge. Yes, I didn't cut that bit off. I decided I'd just glue it down over the back. Again, no one's going to see it because that's what's going to get glued down onto the page. Then I decided I just wanted something else. So I've grabbed one of my little inks here. I love this deep, it's the weirdest colour, and I don't know how to describe it. It's not bronze, it's got a hint of rusty, goldy, whatever. And I'm going to just pop some of that around the edge. I just rub the pad directly onto the edge. I quite like the look of this, and instead of always just doing dark brown, the usual boring edges, I just decided I would do something. And this has a beautiful metallic sort of sheen when it dries. It's really quite attractive. So I just duck around the edge with all of that. I did make a little bit of a mess, and I have cut that bit out of the video because I dropped the pad onto the back when I had sort of finished going around the edges. But anyway, I tidied all that up. You won't have to see all that bit. That gets chopped off in a minute. Now, the only thing is with these inks, they do take a little while to dry. So if you try using the same sort of Versamark ink to create some pretty metallic edges, leave it alone and let it dry for a good hour or two. So that's what I will do here, and I will be back when it's dry. So there we go. We're all dry now. And we need to put something inside our flip up and flip down. Now, this is a great way to use up scraps. You'll see here I've got some plain paper, coffee dyed paper, grid paper, plain brown paper, more lines, and a little bit of pink dyed paper that I did with watercolour. Anything you've got, use it up. I just cut each piece a little bit smaller than the one before it. Doesn't need to be all nice and neat and even. Except, of course, I like the straight edge at the top. But it looks quite cute when they're all different sizes. Now, I've just popped a staple in that to hold it together. And as you can see, my staples are gold. If you want different coloured staples, just get a permanent marker in gold or silver, or not silver, staples come in silver. I sometimes do them gold. I've also do them in copper. Just because I think they look prettier than standard silver ones. And then I don't often use double-sided tape because I live in the subtropics. I find double-sided tape loses its stickiness so quickly, but it is the most practical way to put this little handmade notepad inside your flip up, flip down. So I've used it in this instance, but this is also not a good quality one. I certainly wouldn't use it if it was something that was just like a single layer of paper, because the gunky bit, it will show through and it will lose its stickiness. You could just glue it down, but I thought, no, we'll just double-sided tape it in, and that way we've just got a little bit of interest inside our flip up and flip down. You can pop anything you like in here, but I just think these little sheets of paper that you can journal on is perfect. And I was thinking about putting that flower there, and then I noticed, see up the top there where I damn well dropped the ink pad on it. You don't see that here, but I actually stick that flower up the top and cover that splodge because I can't stand it. So now we're going to glue it down, but we're not going to glue it the whole way. I'm only going to glue it on 3 sides because I'm also going to create a secret tuck spot. If you don't want to do that, fine, by all means don't. Just glue the whole thing straight down. But I want a little secret tuck spot, so I'm just going to put just a light bit of glue. This is my favourite Tiger glue, as I always use for my paper crafting if I want something to stay where I put it. Tiger glue is my fave. And just a thin bit. You don't need a lot. And on 3 sides. And then we pop it down. We have one side open and we've created a little hidden journaling spot. So I sort of like to place it pretty much in the middle of the page. You can put it over to one side if you want, but I'm just gently pressing it down. Won't take long and that will be dry. And then I have a little hidden journaling spot, and I have a journal card that I'm going to slide in there in just a moment. Sorry, I've got a bit ahead of myself. But yes, little journaling card makes the perfect little hidden tuck spot. It would also be nice, like I've got the tab at the top of this journaling card, it would be good to put a tab on the side if you wanted to make the journaling card easy to get out of. But now I need to leave this and just let it dry. But that's it. We've got a flip up, we've got a flip down. This is a really easy project. Again, use your magazine images. Keep things really simple. And I hope you enjoyed this one. Any questions, leave it in the comment box below, and I'd love it if you enjoyed this to give this video a thumbs up. It helps more people find my videos. Until next time, stay safe and stay healthy. Bye for now.